you know what? I love when he makes publicity for two, don't you? I just feel like, Representative John Yarmuth, there he is, first time on video appearance on the Stephanie Miller Show. Good morning, Representative Yarmuth of the great
Good morning.
Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Yeah, good morning, Stephanie. It's great. This is exciting, being able to see you while we're talking.
And I love that you actually do have a turtle behind you in honor of Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, I think everybody ought to have some kind of sculpture or figurine of their United States senator. So I have one.
I grew up, as you know, my dad ran with Goldwater, so we had a lot of elephants in our house because he was chairman of the Republican Party and he ran with Goldwater. But now it should be a turtle on its back for the Republican Party, don't you think?
I think so, actually. Yeah, they certainly have revealed their underside in the last few years, and no, it's very sad. And now the games they're playing in the Senate. I know Mitch didn't want to be minority leader, but they're showing their true colors. They really don't want to do anything except block any progress in this country.
Representative, you're absolutely right. I've always said, and from long experience, you cannot trust Mitch McConnell. So he delays taking the impeachment trial while he was still majority leader. So now and making noises like he's going to vote for conviction, and now he's like, oh well, now it's too late. Now he's not president anymore. And now it's like he makes this ridiculous threat to Chuck Schumer. He loses his first round hugely because it was a ridiculous demand, right? And now he's on Twitter threatening, like, I will rain hell down if you break the. Here's the guy that's been ignoring every rule in the Senate, right? Yeah. For how long?
36 years, 37, however long he's been there. It's since 1985. Yeah. One thing about the filibuster, though, Stephanie, is that I'm not afraid of doing away with it, no matter what Mitch says, is first of all, they don't want to do anything. They don't have any ideas. So I'm not worried about what they may pass with reconciliation. And if we pass a lot, not with that, just with 51 votes, if we pass a lot, the programs we pass are going to be popular. So they wouldn't dare rescind them. So I just don't worry about that.
Thank you. Yes, use budget reconciliation. And yes, if he continues to just obstruct, as you and I both know he will, yes, get rid of the filibuster and make them run, Representative, in 2 years on taking all those popular things away you just talked about. Joe Biden has ushered the historical presidential honeymoon period back. He has a 63% approval rating already. As we recall, Trump had a 45% rating when he started. So 63% of Americans approve of the job Biden is doing in his very young presidency, barely a week old. 3% disapprove. Trump finished his presidency with the lowest average approval rating in Gallup's history and was also the only president to never reach 50%. What are they scared of? You're giving them a gift, Representative. Get on the right side of history, be against armed insurrection and overthrow of the United States government, and get rid of this cancer on your party that has helped you lose the House, the Senate, and the White House, right?
I'm totally there. Absolutely. We need to be bold. We don't have time to wait. We have some really serious problems. I think about the line in The American President that we got serious problems and it takes serious people to deal with them. And Bob Rumson is not the least bit anxious to solve your problems. He just wants you to be afraid of them and tell you to blame for them. And that's really where we are.
Okay, so I don't know if you know that I'm obsessed with American President until I torture my coworkers with sound bites.
We have serious problems to solve, and we need serious people to solve them.
And in the absence of true leadership, they listen to anyone that steps up to a microphone, Representative, and they don't drink the sand because they're thirsty. You know what I'm saying.
You don't know the difference, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you speak American President. Okay.
I do.
But yeah, you were talking about in the New Yorker piece by Jane Mayer that, John Yarmuth of Kentucky always knew McConnell would dump Trump when he became an existential threat to the Republican Party. He hates Trump, but he made a Faustian deal for all those judges. So, we shall see, Representative, but time is not going to be their friend in this impeachment trial. Let's talk about this huge story yesterday The commander of the DC National Guard said the Pentagon restricted his authority ahead of the riot at the Capitol, requiring high-level sign-off to respond that cost time as the event spiraled out of control. Local commanders typically have the power to take military action on their own to save lives or prevent significant property damage in an urgent situation when there isn't enough time to obtain approval from headquarters. He said the Pentagon essentially took that power away and other authorities away from him ahead of the protest. So he says Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy and Walker are set to brief the House Appropriations Committee behind closed doors, which is obviously going to become a huge congressional inquiry, among other things, right?
Absolutely, and it should be. And then I heard this morning that there was a report that Trump had actually told the Defense Department that they were going to need 10,000 troops that day. That Trump said that, apparently. So, the colossal failure of our security apparatus around the district is just, you can't overstate how bad it was. And I was not in the chamber when the assault took place. I was locked in my office.
Yeah.
But I got to watch it all day, and that was the first question: that where the military? Where's our security? And obviously, the men and women, most of them from the Capitol Police, did the best they could.
Yeah.
When Black Lives Matter was there last summer, you had military on the Capitol steps, maybe 3 or 4 feet apart, up and down the steps. An amazing show of force. And
I mean, it seems clear. I know we have to wait for evidence, but my point is, it seems clear that because these were Trump supporters, everyone was told to stand bound. What's the phrase? Stand by and stand back.
Stand by. Yeah.
I mean, but Representative, you obviously, again, I think of you, even though I'm not from Kentucky, I think of you as my congressman. And so when you get publicity, I feel like I get publicity. So that's why.
Although, Stephanie, Adam Schiff is your congressman. So
well, yes, my point is I own all of them. Okay, my point, but you obviously made news here. Representative Steve Cohen said Monday he and John Yarmuth had both seen Lauren Bobert in the tunnel outside the Cannon House office building with a group sometime in the 3 days before the riots. Congressman John Yarmuth refreshed my recollection yesterday, said Steve Cohen. We saw Bobert taking a group of people for a tour sometime before the 3rd, before the 6th. Now, whether these people were involved in the insurrection or not, I don't know. So she's claiming that it was only family, but
Steve, I think overstated what we saw, and
right.
I've talked to him about it. I don't think we even knew who she was at the time. I certainly didn't. I knew we were walking down a hallway. She was walking toward us. I recognized her as a new member. And she said hi, and we said hi. Nothing looked, and this was either the day we were sworn in, which was the 3rd, or the 4th. It was definitely not the day before the insurrection. So the notion that she was giving a tour, she may have been giving her family a tour, showing them around, but I don't think there was I can't say that there was anything untoward about that.
Yeah.
I don't really want to defend her because she wants to bring guns into the chamber.
Well, and also she was just busted for claiming she didn't know these extremists that she's been in photographs with. And then sure enough, there's several more photos that have surfaced of her with all these right-wing militia, whatever, white supremacists, all kinds of groups. And so, unfortunately, they just don't seem to be good with the truth as a whole. You have Madison Cawthorn claiming, he was a Paralympic, Olympic athlete. You have, Tom Cotton saying he was an Army Ranger. And, it's just, I guess lying has just become part of the party since Trump, right?
Yeah, well, and it's so stupid because the things they lie about can be easily disproven.
Yes.
And they don't seem to care. But, Rand Paul the other day, my other senator, said, there are two sides to every story. And I said, yeah, he's right. There's a truthful side and a dishonest side.
Yes.
And there's honesty and there's lies. But and then there's the right side of history and the wrong side of history, and he's on the wrong side of all of them.
Yeah, always. Yeah. And that's the one thing you can always count on. And okay, so that I would think Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, and also the fact that you said Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Bobert are on your committee, having they've exponentially helped the bourbon industry in Kentucky as far as you're involved. Yes.
Yeah.
They have done that. And of course, Lauren Bobert owns a restaurant and bar in Colorado. So in Rifle, Colorado.
Yes.
Subsidiarity
Of course.
Right. Name shooters. You can't make this up. Right. Well,
So,
I mean,
yeah, it'll be interesting having them on the committee.
yeah. And Representative, they keep asking for unity. And meanwhile, Marjorie Taylor Greene, we call her QAnon Betty. Bobert is QAnon Veronica. You can feel free to use that. But she, okay. So she obviously had a large part in the rhetoric that sparked what happened January 6th. So she apparently repeatedly signaled support for executing Democratic politicians in 2018 and 19 before she headed to Congress. In a social media post, she liked a comment that said a bullet to the head would be quicker to remove Nancy Pelosi. She liked comments that advocated executing FBI agents for being complicit in a deep state. And one post, she wondered when we get to hang Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. So when I think CNN asked her to comment, she said she's not the only one who runs her social media account. She said she's had teams of people manage her. So this person is in Congress with you. I mean, I don't.
Yeah. And these weren't remarks made when she was a teenager. These were remarks made in very recent history. Those are the kind of comments that get you a visit from the FBI. Hmm. And I hope that they look into that. And of course, Kevin McCarthy said he would speak with her. I'm sure that's going to be a comical conversation.
Who's more principled than he?
Yeah, right.
So I know, but this is scary, Congressman. I'm sure for you and all your colleagues, this Hakeem Jeffries family death threat story is really horrifying. Federal authorities have arrested a man who is a former Air Force captain and sheriff's sergeant who sent threatening message to the family of Representative Hakeem Jeffries, saying things like, your brother's putting your entire family at risk with his lies and other words, in a text message to his sibling. I don't know how they got cell phone numbers of siblings and pictures of their neighborhood, but he said, we are armed and nearby your house. We're not white supremacists. Many of us are active retired law enforcement or military. He also sent threats to George Stephanopoulos saying we're nearby and armed and ready. I mean, this didn't end on January 6th, sadly, did it?
No, and I would venture to say that virtually every Democrat in Congress has gotten a similar communication, a similar kind of veiled threat.
Yeah.
And I got one. I'm sure most everybody has that reference your residence and that something's going to happen. And you tend not to take them too seriously, but you have to take every one of those seriously now.
Yeah. Well, on the hopeful side, because we always end on a hopeful note, you tweeted President. You were talking about the transgender ban, among other things, but you said Trump's decision to put our national security and standing around the world at risk in order to advance his anti-LGBTQ agenda was short-sighted as it was hateful. Glad to see our new POTUS taking immediate action to right this. And then you talked about, I love this, Representative, about witnessing the inauguration. You said filled with respect, pride, hope, and relief. The feeling that better days are ahead is inspiring, and the reminder that truth still matters is reaffirming. Right. It is palpably, how we feel like this relief every day of this confidence. And I'm wearing my Love Trumps Hate shirt because it just seems like love has triumphed over hate for now. And
when I get up every morning now, I don't feel an immediate need to turn on Morning Joe or CNN. I can ease into my day.
Is your bourbon getting to a more respectable time of day now? Is it getting a little later?
Now it's at least right after lunch.
It's closer to cocktail hour.
Yes.
Okay. It's no longer 11 a.m.
Listen, it's because of people like you that we have hope again. And thank you so much. We love, just how you fight for us and come on and share that with us. So Representative John Yarmuth, thank you so much.
All right. Great to see you, Stephanie. Thanks.
Good to see you too.
Thanks,
Yay!
sir.